2, 1. What is going on, guys? And today, well, I guess tonight, you guys are seeing it in the day, but we're talking about the Game Awards. I have the winners right here. In this show, I don't know why every year I get hyped for something, and then I get incredibly disappointed. But I have people with me. I have Colton from my the old ass podcast I used to do on the channel, and then Ghouls. You guys know him. He's here from ID number 9. He was
What's
part
up?
of that old ass podcast and other stuff I do here on the channel.
Aloha, everybody. I'm
What's
so
up?
glad to talk about the the game of the year.
All right, so no, we're gonna get to that. All right, so
Yeah, we'll get to that.
most anticipated game won by Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I'm okay with that. I can buy that. I can buy
Yeah,
that
I
the
can
Breath of the
understand
Wild got most anticipated game because Nintendo fanboys. I can buy
I
it.
good
get
Zelda
that,
game.
you know. I get that. I mean, Zelda has always been a profitable franchise for Nintendo. Props to them, kudos to them. Although, from what I saw, not really sold on the game. But I will get to that in a bit.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. It's
just terrible. Just terrible.
it's a little like yeah. I mean, it's not a Zelda game. It doesn't look like a Zelda game. It doesn't look like it plays like a Zelda game. It looks more like
No.
it looks like it's Skyrim's
They
world,
basically,
Dark Souls gameplay with a Zelda skin on it, and that's not good.
yeah,
That's not
if you haven't
Zelda.
seen the game, if you haven't seen the gameplay, okay, it's it's an open world game. Okay, it's kind of like Skyrim. It's open world. However, there's also a bunch of weapons you can pick up. And get this, they each have stats, and they can also have the potential to break.
But
Kind of like a certain franchise from Software.
but here's my thing: is that why? What are you gonna do with the Master Sword now? That's an iconic ass weapon. It breaks.
Yeah, the
Maybe it
Master
doesn't
Sword just
break.
breaks in the middle of a boss fight.
Well, maybe it's the
That's
only maybe that's the one sword that's super hard to find and it doesn't break. I don't know.
Then what's the point of Master Sword's gonna be like the best weapon? Then what's the point of having anything else?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what Nintendo's doing. Maybe they looked at Dark Souls and think, maybe we should do something like that. And it just,
Of
I
all the
seen the
franchises they could
gameplay.
look at, though, they looked at like one of the hardest games out there. Like Dark Souls is difficult. That's not
It's a,
Zelda's not. I mean, Zelda's supposed to be difficult, but it's not like Dark Souls
I
difficulty.
mean, it's supposed to be challenging, but not soul crushing. You know.
Exactly.
Granted, they'll probably tone down the difficulty because it is geared towards a younger audience, but still.
This
I'm not really fond of the direction they're going with Breath of the Wild. It's maybe it's too early to tell. Maybe once I see more of the game,
I'll
once
give them a
they
chance on
actually
the
get a
game.
release
I'll
date.
give them a chance
Yeah.
on the game, but it's still fucking stupid how I own a Wii U, but fuck me, I don't get an exclusive game for it.
Speaking of which, I'm not sure if
Yeah,
that
Wii
was
U owners
because
kind of
of
got screwed.
speaking of the Wii U, I'm not sure if it's because of the video quality or if the fact that we were lagging or something, but the frame rate of that game looked pretty choppy. On because they were playing because you can tell that they were playing on the Wii U. It looks very choppy, really choppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that the Switch version has improved frame rate. That's all I need to say about that.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna move on from this because we're gonna bitch about this later. Most best multiplayer game went to Overwatch. Um, best spo-
Not a
best
surprise.
best sports slash
I
racing
mean,
game went to Forza Horizon 3. Good for them.
Absolutely.
Best
Fantastic
strategy
it's
game.
funny
game
because that's
went to Civilization 6. Good for them. I mean, not really too tough a competition, really. XCOM 2 and Fire
I mean, they
Emblem.
had
not
XCOM
really.
2 also from the same company nearly, but
Yeah.
Civilization's got it.
It's
There's
the
really no
okay.
compare,
This
unfortunately.
I didn't even know this. The best family game went to Pokemon Go instead of Ratchet and Clank.
What the fuck? God
Also, winner
damn
of
it.
best mobile game, ladies and gentlemen. Not even a
Handheld
mobile
game,
game.
Colton.
Why?
Handheld game.
This
Not
is
mobile game.
it's like I
Handheld
said, this
game.
Oh, handheld
like
game. Whatever. Same
it's like
damn thing.
it's like I said before we start this video. It's the age of the casuals. Casuals are starting to make this into a cesspool, and I don't like it. And I don't get it either. Pokemon Go died out literally after the summer end. Like after the summer ended, no one played fucking Pokemon Go anymore. So why?
I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. It's I can't knock it because of how big of a sensation it was, and basically breaking the App Store and just breaking every form of way to break something.
It wasn't him. I'll give him credit. I'll give credit to Niantic. It was an ambitious project. It just, it's just been treated like a fad, and after a few months, people just stopped caring.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to that. All right, best fighting game went to Street Fighter V. Good for them. I would have rather maybe seen gone to Pokken Tournament or KI Season 3, but I would like Pokken to get it. But okay, Street Fighter gets it. I can live with that.
I rather would have saw Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator get it, because
that wasn't even nominated.
Fun and flashy. Yeah, it wasn't even nominated, but I wish it was, because that game was so much fun. And at least it was a completed game when it first came out.
I don't like seeing Street Fighter V win something for its terrible microtransaction practices and releasing as basically a broken, unfinished game, when so many other games have gotten so much hate for that were better and more complete.
It goes to show you, the only reason why I got the reward is because it's Capcom and it's Street Fighter, which is a long-running franchise. Enough said.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason.
Now this one I'm pissed off about, everybody. We're moving on. Best role-playing game. Best RPG. The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. A DLC. What best RPG?
A DLC.
It's not okay.
That doesn't count. It's not a full game. It's part of a full game. That does not count in the slightest. I would rather see it go to something like God Eater. I'd rather see it go to something like, God Eater or something else. I can't think of any other RPG that came out before FF15.
Hey, I just have an RPG idea. I'm just throwing this one out there, Jeff Keighley. I understand that it's from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving. I'm going to throw this one out there for you, but there was a big game called Final Fantasy 15. It's kind of a big deal. I'm just throwing that one out there. Just throwing that one out there. And its nominations it went against are dumb as hell, alright? Dark Souls 3 should have won it. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, I can buy that. World of Warcraft Legion and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade is a great game. But it's not better than a DLC, according to the Game Awards.
Take out World of Warcraft, put in God Eater, and I'll be okay with what it was up against. But Jesus, really, The Witcher? I rather would have saw it go to either Dark Souls or God Eater. That's all I need to say about that. Fuck that. I like the Witcher series. I have yet to play Witcher 3. I've heard great things about the game, but the DLC should not have been nominated at all. It's stupid.
Yeah, DLC should not be up for a big nomination.
Yeah, it's not because it's not a full game. It's not a full game. It's just a part of a full game. It's retarded.
Yeah, it was just really retarded. I can't explain it. It's a DLC. It's called the Game Awards, not the DLC Awards.
Yeah, not DLC Awards.
DLC Awards Joe, 2016, everybody.
Yeah, not Joe. I forgot your name already because you're so much of a douchebag to Angry Joe. But
Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Keighley, there you go. Yeah, you smoked crack before you did this, dude? Like, what the fuck?
No. I honestly believe this, and I'm not even here to, because I think Jeff Keighley can do good, but the Game Awards just seems like it's an annual thing to stroke this man's fucking ego.
Every year. Yeah, and every single year, it just gets more and more. It just gets more crap.
The beginning of
this fucking before it even fucking started. Oh my god, there was this thing about this gamer dude, and he was pulling off all the cliches and these stupid shirts like, It's dangerous to go
That's just
alone.
insulting.
Take this.
As Gruel's put it.
Take this. And there's an arrow pointing at his crotch. What the fuck? That is such
Which
an
is a
embarrassment to
Starbomb
me.
joke. It's not even a Game
That is-
Awards joke.
It's such an embarrassment to me. It's such an embarrassment to gamers everywhere. And fuck, man. Continue.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it just is bad. Like, the hell. Like, it just is a way to stroke his ego. That, I honestly, no matter what people tell me, people say that Jeff Keighley wanted to go the way of Spike. I think Spike was like, we're done putting money inside your this thing that you put on every single year, and people just hate it.
And I don't blame Spike because, oh my god, 2013 is the biggest example because, oh my god.
Was
That was a
2013
pile of
televised?
I think it was. Maybe that. I think that was the last show they did with Spike before.
I don't blame them. I don't
cut the
blame
strings
Spike for
entirely.
backing the frick out after that.
I don't blame him.
Terrible crapshoot of a
I
show.
don't blame him. I don't really blame him at all.
I think the final year for them, was that the one where Joe Hale did it?
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, that guy, Joel McHale. That was the guy.
Yeah,
He was
after
on,
that, they said we're done.
Some comedy show.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to that. As much as that despised, alright, so here's a good one. Now, this one, I didn't honestly care who got it. All these games can argue that they are the best action-adventure game, and Dishonored 2 winning, Hitman, Hyper Light Drifter, Ratchet and Clank, and Uncharted 4. I didn't have a problem with the award. All 5 of these games are good.
Dishonored 2's good.
I mean, kudos to Inside. Personally, I would have liked Ratchet and Clank to win, although I knew that was not going to happen. But was it Inside or Dishonored 2?
Dishonored 2.
It was Dishonored.
Derp. Okay, Dishonored 2. I personally would have liked Ratchet and Clank to win, but I knew that was not going to happen. But kudos to the team. I have yet to play Dishonored 2. I hope to play Dishonored 2 because I did like the first game a lot. I don't know what I was saying when I said Inside.
Alright, so we go on to Best Action Game, and I guess they win it, because it was Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears of War 4, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2. Now, what classifies it as an action game? How much blood it has?
Yeah, that was... Gruel's put it really well when he said that was just a shooter category, because it is.
Yeah, might as well just be a shooter category, because that's all they were, shooters. Okay? Personally...
Hold on, I'm actually checking that. I think... No, they didn't even have a Best Shooter category. It just should have been called Best Shooter.
That's... Yeah, because Doom got that, but Doom deserved that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, for the most... But that's the problem. Great that Doom deserved it, but what defines it as an action game? What's an action game? How much blood it has? Because then, yeah, Doom deserved it.
Yeah. You tear people apart to, you know, heavy metal and demons and all kinds of crazy stuff. Great game.
Yeah, I mean, it's
My
a
game
great.
of the year.
I mean, I have yet to play it, but I'm glad it won. I mean, it looks really cool. You know, I do own the game. I have yet to play it because I was busy, but I just like to play it once I eventually get around to it. It looks like a really fun ass game, coming from a guy who is a fan of the Doom series.
It's a breath of fresh air in a market that's all trying to take itself super, super seriously, and it's just a classic, fun game.
Yeah, I can't really complain too much. Good for them. Best VR game, Res Infinite. I don't care about VR, to be quite honest, because this was, again, kind of a test. Another test you for VR. There isn't still anything that... I have to buy this because I want that game for a VR system, so...
VR has had a presence, though, because it was in the Assassin's Creed thing.
It's like one guy said on Twitter, you know it's bad when the best VR game goes to a game that was to a remastered game 2001.
Was Res a game from 2001? Or Res Infinite?
I believe so. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm going to look it up just because I have the internet at my disposal.
As do we all.
It's just this entire... I would say this entire award show wasn't as bad as 2013, but it was pretty damn close. I mean, throughout the show, they had some really stupid stuff to performances. Oh my
The musical
God! Aside
performances.
aside from Doom, because that was the only video game related performance,
Yes, it is.
it
There,
was dog shit,
okay,
absolute dog shit.
see, I'm a little more. The first performance I got, it was a little related because they done some stuff with Gears of War 4. I laughed at that, at least. I didn't enjoy the music, but it was funny. The Doom thing was really cool, but also kind of disappointing because they didn't play the tracks that I felt were really like enjoyable and memorable. They didn't play the main Doom riff that they have on the main menu and the
And
one
just
that intros the game. They played a lot of just the random combat music, which I guess is fine. Uh, and then the final performance was just
the final
not even
was
remotely
retarded.
related to
It's the
anything.
Mannequin Challenge
Yeah,
song.
no.
Like,
There
I
you
don't
go,
get
Mannequin
it.
Challenge.
What
Oh
is these
my
music?
This
God.
isn't
Last
the
year they
Meme
had, I
Award
believe, the person that did
2016.
a
It's the
violin
Game
for
Awards.
I believe one of the Witcher 3. But what? Doom, that was not a great
was fine, though.
soundtrack.
That
I'm
was like
sorry, but if that
orchestral
was
and-
the Doom
This
soundtrack,
makes no sense.
that was not the soundtrack of the year.
That was retarded.
No, that's like that's the combat music you play when you're not paying attention to the music. You just need something in your ears while you're ripping apart demons. The music that actually happens during story moments or like big cinematic things, heck, it's only like a minute long, but the opening riff of the game, that 56 seconds or something, I think it is on the official soundtrack, it was better than that entire performance, and they should have just played that.
All right.
Yeah. So, and
The
yeah,
musical
so
performances,
Game Remaster from
but
2001.
everything else we'll get to in a moment. Before the world premieres, we're gonna talk about before the game of the year. Before we bitch on that, we're gonna go back to the award best mobile/handheld game, Pokemon Go. Now, I don't have a problem if it was the best mobile game. Here's what I have a problem with it on. It beat Monster Hunter Generations and Fire Emblem Fates.
That's
Yeah,
not
what
okay.
the fuck? This isn't mobile games. It's handheld games. A phone isn't a handheld, dipshit.
But they're crossing the category, which I don't mind, but it's dumb to say that Pokemon Go is a better game than Monster Hunter or Fire Emblem Fates.
Just because this was a fad. Just because it was a fad. That's
What
all
was-
Pokemon Go was. It was a fad. You know, I tried it,
Again,
and I got bored after a few days of playing it. I didn't care
Yeah.
at all.
The other nominations were
so-
Clash Royale and some game called Severed. I never heard of it.
Severed. I'm actually gonna look that up. I seem to recall that. Severed. Let's see.
But the asinine. Pokemon Go is a better game than Fire Emblem Fates. It's asinine.
That's why I fucking despise. I despise the shit they do, especially nowadays.
Yeah, so
Uh,
Severed, it's not the game I was thinking it was. It's some kind of like artsy horror game for the 3DS, it looks like.
So,
So, yeah,
that's
mobile
Pokemon Go is better than 3DS games? No.
That's
and
no,
it's
yeah.
the only mobile game nominated to my knowledge. Okay.
Clash Royale.
No,
What kind of
Clash
cocaine
Royale's a mobile
was
game
this
too.
Jeff? Well, okay. That doesn't honestly that doesn't even count because the real focus is Pokemon Go. Okay, Jeff, are you on crack? Do you think that any fad is worthy of getting a reward? Because that's not how it works. That's not how it
So-
should work.
Here's my question again on this esteemed panel of experts. I'm not buying that an esteemed panel of experts would say that Pokemon Go is better than 3DS games.
I would love to meet this esteemed panel. Like, is it a different panel every year? Or is it the same people? Because if it's different people, I'd love to meet a panel from a past awards show. And just, like, hear them talk about what they were thinking. I want to know, I want to hear behind the panel that gave her story, like, 10 awards last year. I want to hear about the people this year who said, "Oh yeah, Pokemon Go is the game to let's do that. That's best mobile game over 3 other games that were actual games and couldn't be easily played by 3-year-olds. It's just the decisions don't make sense.
No, they don't.
Asinine, because, like I said, the award show, it's just a way for Jeff Keighley to stroke his ego. This is, I'm pretty sure he's the esteemed panel, because notice how this year, like any other year, he's been pretty adamant about how the extreme panel is and who they are.
Yeah.
But he hasn't said anything about who they are.
It's apparently just a panel of experts from everywhere, from IGN to Game Informer to Destructoid, the Metacritic. All these people get together.
GameSpot.
Why are you talking about people at Destructoid? Don't do that. Everybody else I kind of get, but IGN. I mean, there's some good people at IGN, but there's a lot of people that aren't that great at IGN. Same thing.
But again, I'm not even willing to bet IGN or Game Informer would tell you that Fire Emblem Fates or Monster Hunter Generations or Severed is a worse game than Pokemon Go. I'm not willing to buy it.
No. You can look at their reviews. They gave those games really high marks, and I don't even remember what they gave Pokemon Go. Did they review Pokemon Go?
I don't think they did. I think they just said it's fun. But notice how no one's playing it in December now.
No. Again, it's a fad game.
And most importantly, you could have just put Pokemon Sun and Moon in there, and I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, then again,
Niantic
keep in mind,
apparently has a history with this. From what I understand from a previous game that they've done, I need to look up what that's called actually.
When did Pokemon Sun and Moon come out?
It's like enough for them to beat it. I beat the damn game before the award show went up.
Okay, so it's like, so why couldn't they just replace Pokemon Go with an actual 3DS game? No, we gotta put Pokemon Go in there because we gotta please casuals. We gotta please the casuals that are probably watching this, which are like all 2% of us.
See, that is like I say this during every E3 review that I do. It's like Ubisoft putting on a Just Dance performance during the E3 press conference. None of your market is watching this.
No, none whatsoever. Same goes for the Game Awards. You only did this, Jeff, because you want casuals to watch your show that only hardcore gamers know and despise because of your fucking stupidity and ego.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's go in now to Best Independent Game, because you can actually argue that all of these games are better than the quote-unquote Game of the Year, alright? Firewatch, Hyper Light Drifter, Inside Valley, Stardew Valley, and The Witness. Now, I own 4 out of 5 of these, and I have seen my brother play Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is kind of just a farming simulator, but it gives you a whole bunch of quests that you can do as well. Like, go out and explore. Firewatch is an incredible narrative game. Hyper Light Drifter is like a top-down Dark Souls. You guys know what Inside and The Witness is. They're great puzzle games.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really have a problem with that. I don't care. But all those games, I can argue that it's better than the Game of the Year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. we'll get to Game of the Year in a little while because as much as I like it, I'm not trying to spoil anything. It doesn't deserve that whatsoever.
Games for Impact. We're not gonna sit here and really comment on it. I have never heard of any of these games. I don't think anyone here has ever heard of any of these games.
Except the only thing to mention here. The only thing to really mention here is that Justine comes back, and she's really only here because they need to have a pretty face, ass, and tits to please the men in the audience.
Ghouls said it the best, but also the ad, I'm pretty sure she's dating Jeff Keighley. Now, I'm not going to sit here and confirm or deny that, but if you watch her vlogs, she went on some trip and had Jeff Keighley there with her on a trip to, like, Hawaii, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could have gotten.
Say is that
they could have done someone better. I mean, I'm just gonna raise my hand as the dude in the room who's like, she's not that good looking to me. She's like a 6 out of 10.
Well,
There
no,
were
I
better
definitely
looking
say she's like
people
an
there.
8. You could even argue a 9. She's hot. No one's gonna maybe that's your taste, but
There's
she's
not
hot.
much. There's nothing else there though. That's all.
And if
Otherwise,
you
she's
watch her
just
gaming
rich
channel,
and-
she has posted literally nothing but Call of Duty and Minecraft. That's a gamer, apparently.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
She says she plays all these
I'll
different
say that-
games, but quote-unquote never finishes them.
Yeah.
And then
All I'll say is this.
PlayStation and Microsoft and Nintendo treat her like she's a crown jewel of something. I'm gonna go on a little bit of iJustine rant here. And she doesn't know technology. She knows what to say when set on a keynote. I can do that. The Microsoft Xbox One S has a 4K Blu-ray drive, and you can have high-res definition and all this other shit. I can do that. The only difference between me and her, she's nice looking.
Yeah, she's not all she does is like be objective about the things she's talking about. She never gives her own opinion, to my knowledge. She just talks about it.
She goes on whatever the
That's about it.
popular opinion is.
Yeah.
And I want
So-
this to be said, all right? This was the first year I could legitimately vote. I don't want to get into election, but I watched one of her videos. She said, I don't know what her age is. I'd have to assume in probably her 30s.
30s, really?
30s.
I think she was younger than that.
Okay, but she said that she has never voted before until now because it's such a big election. You are literally jumping on a
Every
hype train to
election is a
vote.
big election.
It's a big deal. Every single election is a big deal, you dumbass bitch. Oh my
Pretty
god.
much. If you are
You're
an
voting-
American, it is your duty to go out and vote. I get not wanting to, but don't call one election more important than the others.
It's
I'm not going to
retarded.
sit here and get into that, but that was just my mini iJustine rant. I could do one event eventually if she pisses me off enough. But until then, I'm not going to be that guy. I just hope iDubbbz will make a content cop on her and then just tell the world like it is. But anyway, we're going to go to the best performance. I actually have
hold on,
a
before
beef with this
before
one. So the nominees are basically Emily Rose as Elena from Uncharted 4, Nolan North as Nathan Drake from Uncharted 4, and Troy Baker as Sam Drake from Uncharted 4, Rich Simmons as Henry from Firewatch, Cesar Jones as Delilah in Firewatch, and Alex Hernandez in what my opinion is the winner, Lincoln Clay in Mafia 3.
Okay,
I've
let me-
not played
Let me just
I've not played the Uncharted games. I'm going to soon. I got all of them. I'm just gonna sit there, play them on easy, and then bust through them.
let me
It's
so let me
it's not
let
even
me just
Uncharted though.
go on a little rant about this. Why is it that we have multiples of voice actors from the same game in this nominee thing? You could have easily taken somebody like Laura Bailey from Gears of War 4, but no, we're just gonna.
Yeah, Gears of War I think is a little bit criminally underrated this time around. I mean, I haven't played the game. I'll say that up front. I'm getting around to it, but it's still like just from the trailers and stuff, it looks like a really interesting narrative. And the
Marcus!
performances were great. Just
Marcus was fantastic.
absolutely. Just singularly for his line about his tomatoes being blown up. Like he should win
That was
Actor of the Year
great.
just for that line.
Fucking tomatoes. but you could, but really, you had to do multiples of from the same game. You
And
couldn't
here's a
take
okay. I'm not
Laura Bailey
again. I don't
from
want to spoil it.
Gears
If
of War
all
4,
these
you
were
could take the guy who voiced
performances
Ratchet.
so great, how come this didn't win Game of the Year? If all these performances were so memorable, how did this not win Game of the Year?
I don't know. Maybe
You don't
because
exactly see.
maybe because
I don't know who.
maybe because Jeff wanted to surprise everybody. big shocker. I'm not always biased, people. I pick different stuff. I don't always give it to the same people over and over.
Except that Nolan North wins voice acting constantly.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah,
literally
forget that.
like
No one
hot
won.
potato between him and Troy Baker every single year.
I mean,
Didn't one of the previous Game Awards, Troy Baker walked up on stage and made fun of that. He said, like, oh, people ask me how do you get into voice acting or for video games? Yeah, you wait until me and Nolan North die and then you put in your bid.
Yeah.
Because they're in everything.
I get it. You know, I get it. Nolan North and Troy Baker are great voice actors. That doesn't mean you have to give them the award every single year. Give somebody else a chance. I would have loved to see somebody besides Nolan North where Troy Baker wins that award. But no, we're just gonna play it safe and give it to them because they're apparently the highest of high tier voice actors. I'm not trying to knock on Nolan North or Troy Baker. I think they're both good, but Jesus Christ, can we get somebody new for once?
I am in the midst of playing Mafia 3. The gameplay sucks. I'm just not. It's not that great. But the one thing it has is fantastic cutscenes and probably some of the most interesting characters ever. And then the one thing that they had, they just gave it to Uncharted. It really should have went to Mafia.
Because Nolan North and Troy Baker. I don't like having the fact that there's multiple voice actors from the same game on this nominee list. Why couldn't you have somebody else? Like, you could have easily replaced somebody else, and you would have a much more variety in terms of results. But no, you didn't. You just take the easy way out, put the people who are here, and that's about it. I would love to see Laura Bailey win, but she was not there. She was not nominated, so whatever.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Best music and sound design, Doom, great. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
There's an argument
like
to be
the
made
music
for
in that
Dark
game.
Souls, which has some fantastic boss themes.
That wasn't even nominated.
Specifically,
Yeah,
was it?
even
I thought it
nominated.
had a soundtrack nomination.
No, it was best music and sound design was the best soundtrack. Jeff Keighley just made it so that way it sounded better.
That sucks.
Yeah, not much to say there. I think Doom had a great soundtrack. That's about it.
Yeah.
Best art direction went to Inside. I can't really argue there. Inside. I love the game. I should have thought it won the game of the year out of these awards. Out of the nominees, I should say, but
I mean,
we'll get to that
I've seen
in
the
a minute.
game. It looks pretty interesting. It looks pretty unique. I would definitely say that if this were to have won Game of the Year, I wouldn't have bitched because it looked like a pretty well-made game. This is the spiritual sequel to Limbo, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I haven't played that, but I've seen a bit of it. It looks pretty interesting. This looks definitely a lot more interesting.
I would have even
I'll
been
give it a
okay
shot,
with
but yeah.
Abzu. Abzu looks pretty cool.
Abzu
Yeah,
looks
that looks
absolutely
pretty
fantastic.
And then again, best narrative went to Uncharted 4, which
I got no problem
No
with
surprise there. Better narratives out there,
mean,
but
this is coming from a guy who actually played a game. I think the story was very well done. It ended the franchise off nicely. I think hopefully Naughty Dog will finally put the Uncharted franchise to an end. I thought it was a really great series, and yeah, I just hope Naughty Dog could get on to different projects now.
I
that the
still
Uncharted
felt
series
like
is
Mafia
over.
3 should have won, but I'm not gonna sit there. I've already made my case for that. Best studio game direction went to Blizzard for Overwatch, and probably Hearthstone as well. But Overwatch was their big game this year. Great. Okay, fine. If you give him this, but the game of the year went to Overwatch. But before we bitch our hearts out on that, I want to get into these world premieres that are quote unquote world premieres. Because I'm actually...
Yeah.
I'm going to go over these with you guys, alright? I'm going to look up the world premieres from the Game Awards, because, alright...
Okay, let's off the top of our heads. What were the world premieres from the Game Awards?
Spectre Knight.
Because there was There was the Spectre Knight thing for as a
Shovel
prequel to
Knight.
Shovel Knight. There was Dauntless, which looks unique, I
It's
guess.
okay.
All right,
And
hold
there
on.
was-
I'm pulling this up now. All right, so we had Legend of Zelda: Breath into the Wild,
Okay.
Bulletstorm,
We
Yeah.
saw before.
Death Stranding, which. All right, we'll talk about this here in a minute because I do want to talk about Death Stranding. Now, while Death Stranding very cool, there's still nothing to be said about the gameplay. This just looks like
Yeah. It looked
I
like
don't
Hideo
even know.
Kojima
I don't-
Had like a,
it looks like a clusterfuck,
really-
honestly.
It looks like Kojima is
Kojima-
taking his nightmares and just putting them on screen, and I don't know.
Well, speaking of, we've completely rolled us over. But speaking of Kojima, he got the what's it called? What's the award called? That Jeff
Jeff
gave him.
Keighley cries his heart out over one person award because he literally
Yeah. How's
just
that?
stood there. I don't. I mean, give Kojima the award. That's great. You know what? He deserves it after all the things that he went through with Konami. He deserves it because he's getting back up and doing cool stuff with the new Kojima Productions. But don't make that big of a deal about it.
Like, yeah, he was sucking Kojima's dick like no tomorrow, and it was really getting irritating. Like, okay, we get it.
I
Kojima's
think
God.
Kojima was even
we give him the
irritated. Like, he was
award?
just sitting there not sure what to do.
Well, he can't really. Well, actually, he does speak English. He just speaks very poor English. But
Yeah.
Kojima didn't really know what to say. He was just like, "I'm very happy. Thank you very much. And peace out." That's pretty much all he did.
Yeah, and then he said one more thing and shows off the Death Stranding trailer. But again,
Yeah.
that needs to be its whole own segment.
All right, so I'm gonna count these
Death
world
Stranding.
premieres. All right, so Zelda: Breath to the Wild. We already knew this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was just a trailer. This one, Bulletstorm full clip world premiere. That was a world premiere of a game. Granted,
it's a world
it's-
premiere of a remaster of a niche game that didn't sell well. I liked it. I thought it was great. I was annoyed
I thought it was
that People Can Fly cancel it in favor of making Gears Judgment. I understand why. They obviously got a lot more money for it. I'm a big Duke Nukem fan. Not as hyped now thinking about it as I was about the Duke Nukem DLC for it, because I could go on a whole rant about why I want Duke to come back and I want there to be another Duke Nukem game like Gearbox promised there would be, but the way the world stands right now, it's not ready for another Duke Nukem game. Like,
No.
the style of comedy Duke needs to have, the jokes he needs to make, the world's just going to get massively triggered and the game's not going to do well. So we'll see how it
So
goes.
we had
with
a
Bulletstorm,
remastered
but-
and a game we've already seen. Death Stranding, we've already talked about. It's one weird ass game, but it was a world premiere trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, Telltale's Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. We know what this game is. I'm excited for it. I will probably buy it, but I know what I'm getting myself into. It's a point and click with Marvel of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it just had the mixtape floating around the.
Is Telltale anything else but point and click games now? They've done nothing.
Pretty much.
All they do
Ever
is point and
since the
click.
success of
So
The
every
Walking
time
Dead,
you see
nothing.
Telltale something.
It's
Yeah.
like I don't think Telltale's is bad. I don't think Telltale's are the bad game company. It's just the same thing over and over again. Granted, if the story is done right, then I can deal with the point and click. But if it's not done right, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. And then alright. So again, to go over, a trailer a game we already seen, a remastered, a game that probably won't be out for at least 2 to 3 more years, I bet. And Death
Dauntless,
Stranding.
you're talking about? Oh. Okay.
Telltale, which it's just literally a mixtape floating. A freemium game in Dauntless, while the art style looks cool, it is a freemium game.
That's a game that's gonna, what you were saying being 2 to 3 years out, that game's gonna go into alpha late next year probably, and then may never make it into beta phase because there's a lot of games like that that'll be announced and are super cool and go freemium, and then they just don't get the attention, and
No.
it just doesn't work
Very
out and they
rarely.
get canceled.
Very rarely does a game that's free to play become successful. Warframe's a prime example.
Yeah, Warframe is at the Game Awards for some reason.
Yeah.
Not sure
that
why.
was wasted time. That you could have put one of the nominees that you just kind of passed on by.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Lawbreakers world premiere, which we already knew Lawbreakers was a thing, so not a world premiere, it's just another trailer. Prey. Now this was a world premiere. We got gameplay, we got everything. This looks cool,
Yeah.
but also really weird, but I'm okay with it. Arcane does good work, so I'm not gonna sit here and bitch.
It's like I said when we were watching it. It looked like BioShock in space.
But you can't transform into a coffee cup and roll around in Bioshock. The
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's going to be incredible. Coffee Cup Simulator 2017 probably is when that game's coming out.
And then we had
There it is.
another Zelda Breath into the Wild world premiere, which
Again, Jesus Christ.
Okay, see, it was a two-part. They said it was two parts because it was voted the most anticipated game. But the part they showed in the pre-show, there was a couple of things that didn't look familiar, but the rest of it we saw at E3.
Yeah.
And then you get this
Well, it's
part,
fine.
which is an actual world premiere of them actually playing the game in a new area. And I don't remember seeing, when I read up on it at E3, I don't remember seeing anything about the loot drops and the weapon numbers and the weird little stamina combat circle that's next to Link. Like,
Again,
I don't get that.
it's like we said earlier. It was clear that they wanted to emulate what From Software did with Dark Souls. We'll see how it goes. I guarantee it probably won't work because
And
Zelda is not Dark Souls. It should be its own thing.
Yeah.
If anything, Dark Souls was inspired by Zelda because the combat system's very kind of like Zelda. It's just it does its own thing because it's
Zelda
difficult.
for grown-ups.
Yeah, basically.
And then we got
So the fact
Shovel
that
Knight. Okay, cool, but it's a game
I
that's
was-
It's
2
I'm
years
excited
old
for it.
now.
Yeah,
It's a
it's 2 years
spin-off.
old. It's still getting free DLC. I like Way Forward, and I like Shovel Knight.
Well,
I'm
good for
excited
them, but
Spectre
does
Knight
that really
DLC.
entitle to a world premiere?
No, it doesn't.
Well,
I'll be honest, it doesn't.
Rocket League was there.
Yeah,
Why was
Rocket
Rocket
League.
League
That
DLC
again, like that's a free update.
Yeah,
There's a massive difference
Regardless-
between, in my opinion, a world premiere and a trailer. A trailer is just something that is there. A world premiere should be something brand new the world has never seen before.
exactly.
Not DLC.
And, granted, the Spectre Knight stuff is something we'd never really seen before. Of course, Way Forward did hint at it in the various tweets it did in the summer, I think. Regardless, I'm gonna like it. I mean, as a platforming fan, as a fan of Shovel Knight, I'm probably gonna enjoy it. I really like how they actually redesigned some of the levels. It seems because in the past DLC with Plague Knight, it's basically the same game except you're playing as Plague Knight. Here, they're actually changing up the level to fit for Spectre Knight. It seems. And I'm happy for that, but it doesn't deserve any screen time at the Game Awards. It deserves to be something that you would put on YouTube or a website or something like that.
And then Halo Wars 2, great, a world premiere, but a game that's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But I want to play the game, and the story trailer, cool, but nothing really too
That was a
exciting.
world premiere because we hadn't seen any of that. I mean, I'm always happy with more Blur cutscenes. Blur makes beautiful cutscenes. It's interesting to hear some background on the new Antigist Atriox. They're making a big deal about him. And it kind of, listening to his origins, it kind of dispelled some notions that he might be a prior character from the universe. He looks completely new. So that's going to be interesting. That makes him kind of a wild card, which is what Halo needs right now because something's got to save Halo 5.
And
So,
then
Halo
they had The
Wars
as for
Walking
me,
Dead
I-
Season 3, which
I
is
don't really
cool. I again, it's another Telltale game. I
As
know
a
what I'm
fan of
getting
the first 2
myself
seasons,
into, and
I'll
I
probably
kind of
pick up
want them to break the formula at this point.
as a fan of the first two games, I'll probably look forward to it. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty meh.
And then now this is the
Yeah.
one damn world premiere I actually gave a shit about, which was Mass Effect Andromeda. I haven't got to see it yet because my Twitch stream lagged out. I can't comment on it, but people say it's great, so I'm gonna say it's great. But it was an actual world premiere.
It's
It
basically
was
basically they took what worked in Mass Effect 1, brought that back, and added the gameplay that worked well in Mass Effect 2 and 3.
it's interesting because we saw a gameplay of a biotic character, and I'm somebody I'm basically at the halfway point of the franchise. I'm on Mass Effect 2, about to probably play Lair of the Shadow Broker before I go do the final mission and go into 3. But I mean, I'm playing. I've experienced the game up to that point, and one of my biggest turnoffs for Mass Effect has been how clunky the gameplay is. And the thing you immediately notice in Andromeda, even when Ryder's just walking around a cityscape, is that it's so much more fluent and much more like a Gears of War or a Rise of the Tomb Raider, one of those third-person games that has really cool movement. And when you're actually fighting in combat, at least as a biotic, you're teleporting around, you're using your shield, you're fast-paced, you're actually in this fight. You're not just kind of clunkily walking over to some cover and hiding behind it and commanding your squad to do things while you just sit back and shoot. It looks much more engaged. It looks a lot better. So that's exciting to see. I wanna see more of Andromeda.
Yeah, as I said, they basically took what worked in 2 and 3, brought back elements from Mass Effect 1, like the open world, the ability to pilot the vehicle, I think it's called a Mako, and equipping different armors. In Mass Effect 2 and 3, you can only equip different armors to yourself. You couldn't equip them to squad mates. I'm not sure if they brought back the ability to equip squad mates with different armor, but it'll be interesting to see because I actually like that's one of the things I liked about Mass Effect 1 is the ability to customize the characters, like an RPG.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 and 3 felt more like third-person shooters with RPG elements, and I'm glad that Mass Effect Andromeda is bringing back some of the things that makes Mass Effect feel more like an RPG.
All right. So I'm going to go down the list. We're going to decide what was actually a world premiere and what really wasn't, and then we're going to talk about the game of the year, and then we'll wrap this video up. All right, the first Zelda Breath of the Wild, I am not counting as a world premiere. That's not a world premiere.
No.
Nope.
Rocket League. No.
No.
Not a world premiere.
Not even close.
Bulletstorm, full clip, world premiere.
Yeah, I mean,
Technically, but it's the same game.
Seen it, but it's a remaster. Yeah, the only world premiere really was the Duke DLC, but even then, they showed basic.
Okay, the most underwhelming
Doesn't
then
matter.
world premiere. I'm gonna give it that bestow.
Yeah,
Death Stranding. That was a world premiere.
Yeah, it was.
absolutely.
Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I'm actually going to say that this was not a world premiere. This was just an announcement because it did absolutely nothing. It just showed a mixtape
No.
floating in space.
It
No.
showed the Walkman and the mixtape floating in space and played a song that probably should have been on the second movie's soundtrack. Maybe there wasn't actually any gameplay. We didn't get any details.
And
Yeah,
I'm
it's just a
not
little
going to
teaser.
actually... I hope they get the actual cast, but if they don't, I'm going to be upset.
That's a key thing because at this point you associate those characters with those voices and those. Yeah, they have to have the movie cast at this point.
All right. Dauntless, it was a world premiere, but it's a free-to-play game. I don't care.
World premiere, but DOA game.
Depends on your
Arrival.
taste.
Lawbreakers,
your
not
taste,
a
that's
world
all I gotta
premiere.
Nope.
No.
Prey, world premiere, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
hadn't seen any of it.
Zelda Breath of the Wild, world premiere.
No. No.
No, the second one was.
Technically, yeah. The second one was technically, but
Alright, I guess it does. Alright, Shovel Knight prequel world gameplay reveal trailer.
kind of, not really.
Is it a separate game or is it a DLC?
It's a free DLC.
Okay, see, I thought it was like a separate little game.
We kind of never seen it before, but we did see the main game before, so it just really depends if you count DLC as world premiere.
It looks
I'm not
unique
counting
from the
it.
main game. It's like the
You
difference
can
between
say it's a
Wolfenstein: The
this
Old
one's
Blood and
tricky, but
Wolfenstein:
it's a
New Order.
another underwhelming world premiere.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
underwhelming. It didn't show very much anyway.
Halo Wars 2 trailer, I'll count it as a world premiere, but again, it
They
doesn't
showed
do
some
much.
cutscene footage. We didn't get any
That's it.
gameplay. Not that that would have been that exhilarating considering it's a top-down game, but
Yeah, you can't do gameplay and it, I guess, be exciting.
I mean it's exciting, but you'd have to. Yeah, it's only really exciting when you're the one playing it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's boring to look at.
Walking Dead
Exactly. It's
Season
not one
3,
of
now
those games
this
you want
was
to
a world
watch.
premiere. You actually got to see something, and it was pretty disturbing. Second most disturbing trailer of the night, I'll give it. Not the first, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty messed up. And then you get Death Stranding.
And the Mass Effect Andromeda was an absolute world premiere. So
Absolutely.
Long
About
time
damn
coming.
time,
Nice to see
BioWare.
gameplay.
Alright, so now we get a bitch and moan about the game of the year, and I'm going to go ahead and get this started. We have come now to a multiplayer-only game being a world premiere. Multiplayer only.
That's not
So
a
yeah,
non-innovative multiplayer game.
I mean, Overwatch is a fun game. I'll give it that. But it doesn't do anything new in terms of shooters. I mean, you have all the stuff. I mean, team-based shooters have already been done before. It's been done in TF2. Granted, TF2 came from a different time, but regardless, it's still been done before. All Overwatch did was just make it more simple and more appealing to casuals. I can't even say it's multiplayer attire. I think it's more like like the year of casuals because that's what
But
it
here's
is.
my problem with this, and I actually just thought of this while we were filming of this. When Nintendo saved the gaming world, you know, they didn't ever think of multiplayer. Do you think when they made Mario, they thought a game with no single player should be online? Or just when games were made in general? They were meant to be played by yourself. If you do not have internet, you cannot play this.
Which is pretty. Ugh. At the very
mean,
least, do
considering-
what. At the very least, do what Battlefront 2 did and have bots.
They have bots, but
Battlefront
they're
2
the
had a campaign.
biggest idiots on the planet.
Like
Battlefront 2
no, I
had a
mean,
campaign,
actually,
though.
but it's not even that's not an offline mode because you still need to have people to play with, which is retarded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have
know-
to have the internet to connect to the servers, don't you?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you have to. Everything's stored in the cloud for Blizzard. That's annoying.
So
mean-
so any of these games, the only game that you can argue that again inside because you have to have internet to download it.
Yeah,
I would
technically.
gladly take Uncharted 4 before I would take Overwatch.
Doom, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4 are the only games you can go out to a store and get a physical copy for.
I would
Overwatch-
have liked to see Titanfall 2 win it, but it
Overwatch-
probably wouldn't have.
Also, is a physical copy depending on if you bought it physically, but you still need internet to play the damn thing. So
The only argument that I can make for Inside is that you can download a game at a friend's house. You can't download and play a game at your friend's house forever.
But it's
Yeah.
not even just the fact that it's multiplayer. It's the fact that it's a multiplayer game that, quite frankly, it doesn't really do anything new besides appeal to casuals. Appeal to more casual people who like shooters and,
Now
don't
it
want
does
to be don't wanna be
reinvent the
involved in these
multiplayer
super
genre.
serious-
I'm okay with this winning best multiplayer. I'm 100% fine with that.
Oh,
but to say this
absolutely.
is
In
the
fact, I was
game
gonna
of
turn
the
this into best
year.
multiplayer.
Is retarded.
Game of the year is stupid. No, I mean I like Overwatch as much as the next guy, but I don't like it enough to make it game of the year. My game of the year personally was Uncharted 4. This game clearly was a prime example of trying to appeal to casuals.
I could have
making it feel
made
like
so
the
many
proper
other Game of the
game.
Years that were better than this. Quantum Break, Dark Souls
Gears
3
4.
Inside. The game I'm playing
Yeah,
right
Dark
now in
Souls 3
Final
was-
Fantasy 15, I don't care if it's off the cutoff date. Cut off your show then. To make sure you get every AAA game.
Like, I mean, Ratchet and Clank, I would probably pick as Game of the Year.
That's a better game. I loved Ratchet and Clank.
I mean, Monster Hunter Generations would be a great pick. Anything but this. I get it. I get what they want. They wanted something. They wanted to like appeal. They wanted to make it look like, hey, the popular thing always wins. When that should not be the case. It should be what gamers like the most. What gamers feel connected to the most. I don't feel connected to Overwatch.
Exactly the popular thing is like winning isn't. We look at last year for the Game Awards. Like, you get The Witcher 3 and you get Fallout 4 were the two big contenders. And Witcher 3 took it over Fallout 4 when Fallout 4 should have been the clear, it was the shoe-in, everybody expected it, winner of the Game of the Year.
Yeah, so that was one of those cases.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare cases, but outside from that, Overwatch is just your typical Game of the Year just because it's popular award.
In my opinion, it did nothing to reinvent the wheel. It did nothing to reinvent the wheel for Game of the Year. It's a very fun-ass game. I played it today. It's very fun, but I will not play the game unless I have a friend to play it with.
Like I have nothing against Overwatch. I have nothing against Blizzard. Kudos to them for winning Game of the Year. I just think the game doesn't deserve it at all.
So,
pretty much.
Yeah, that's the end of this, guys. I honestly give the Game Awards this year like a 4 out of 10. 3 out of 10. My final verdict's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
It had 3 good world premieres that I cared about watching. Prey, Mass Effect, and the Telltale, not Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Walking Dead. And of course they put those at the end of the show.
Of course.
Before we go, there was one more award, but I'm not sure we can even count it because it's about YouTubers. Boogie won that award. Kudos to him. That's all I need to say about that.
I don't really care about. That's fan voted. I don't want to comment on it because I don't know the full story, but at least a couple years ago, Jeff Keighley was a douche to Angry Joe.
Yeah.
But Boogie does. I like Boogie. He does good stuff. I can't complain. He makes me laugh most of the week. He made me laugh today with one of his Francis videos. So, yeah. The Game Awards. What are you guys' final verdicts for the Game Awards?
Fuck this show.
I'd give it like a 5 out of 10.
Fuck this show.
It wasn't 2013 levels of bad, but honestly, last year was better. I don't think there was a single... The biggest deal was that nobody had real energy for it. Like, there was no energetic presenters or anything. I think the presenters that did the best were probably... I mean, Conan didn't do a bad job, but his was, like, pre-recorded and
But his was pre-taped. He can do it however he wanted to.
But up on the stage, I think Rooster Teeth probably did the best job, just because they came up there and were super lighthearted about it and actually cared about what they were talking about.
Yeah. And that's pretty sad, because I despise Rooster Teeth. I'm actually agreeing.
Being up there was just a... Yeah, you're not a Rooster Teeth fan, but I mean, there's no real...
There was not one... There was Michael Phelps up there who had to present the esports, and I know deep down inside that's fucking killing him to present that.
I feel bad for Michael Phelps. Oh, by the way, I give the show an F. Fuck this show. It dragged out. There's so many stupid
Yeah, there was absolutely no need for 2 hours. Jesus Christ, there wasn't.
Assassin's Creed movie, filler, stupid performances.
Those crappy...
That have nothing to do with video games.
There was the music performances that don't need to be there this year, at least.
The thing that I find hilarious about the Assassin's Creed thing was it was in like the AMD Red Room or whatever. It's like the sponsored room. But last year, EA did that with Battlefront, and they actually had like people in that room. I don't know about you guys, but when they panned there, it was either dead empty with just the people who were supposed to be there, or there was one shot that had people using the thing. Where when the Battlefront room, whenever they panned to it, there was like always people playing the game and doing stuff.
Well, we're
It's
gonna see what's next for Battlefront because DICE said today they're taking a break from Battlefield and going head on Storm now for Battlefront 2.
Whew,
better.
thank God, because Dice really needs a break from Battlefield. Yeah, they really need to break from Battlefield. They made like it's becoming Call of Duty at this point. But yeah, I give the show an F. Fuck it. I don't think it's not as horrific as 2013, but it was pretty damn close for me.
So we're
I'll probably
giving
never
it,
watch it
I
again.
guess, as a whole, I'm gonna
Aside,
go with Ghouls. That's gonna be a 4 then. Ghouls gave it a 4. I'll make the rating for him. We're gonna go, and if you average it out, it was a 4.
if there's one thing I'll go back to, it'll probably be the speech for the guy who made the Dragon Cancer game.
I think good for him. Good
that
for
Dragon
him.
Cancer.
But the presenters did not
was-
look like they gave the slightest of shits about it.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy out there with iJustine was, but I know for a fact iJustine like didn't have emotions.
But that was without a doubt the best speech of them all. Honestly, it was very emotional. It was
I would have
very...
gave a shit about Hideo Kojima if he could speak the. I'm not trying to be racist here in any form or way, but he looked like he didn't want to be up there.
Yeah, the dude
No.
he doesn't like the spotlight. He never has. He doesn't need to be up speaking in front of people. They need to just like gild him, give him his award, and let him just say thank you and go on.
But that is where we were going to end today's video, guys. I know this is a hour-long video. Thank you guys so much for watching and sitting here through us. I'll bitch on the Game Awards 2016. Jeff Keighley, if you're coming back for 2017, just save your fucking money. I can't do another year.
This is my first one in like 2 years after that horrific one, and it fucking sucked. Why did I come
Honestly,
back
yeah.
to this?
I mean, I watch it every year, and it's not.
I have not missed a single Game Awards since I was like 12. And when I was able to say, oh, well, that wasn't good, I'm pretty sure I always said that was bad. They had Samuel Jackson host one year. They had Hulk Hogan do some stuff. And they just have Jeff Keighley stroking his fucking ego.
See, when Samuel L. Jackson did it, it was cool.
No, he didn't know a damn thing. He was just sitting there like, look at these best characters. I have no clue how to say them.
Ah, well. At least he brought a little bit of emotion to it.
Samuel L. Jackson brings emotion to everything he wants to do.
It's true.
I think we'll cut off here. This has been one hell of a video. Thank you guys for watching. If you actually sat through all of our rambling, all of our bitching, all of our criticism, and all of our debates.
Well, actually, before we do end this, I actually want to say, because I don't like to bitch and then just not give a reason on how to improve. The way to improve, it's called the Game Awards. Show more awards. If you want to do the world premieres, I get it, but show actual world premieres instead of just trying to get a shit ton of DLC and just say it's a world premiere.
And actually get people who actually give a shit, who actually show emotion to what they
Yeah, because I can't watch another shitty performance. They have had the Chain Gang of 1984. That was just terrible.
74.
Whatever. It was just terrible. You guys can say how you would improve the Game Awards, and then we're gonna just cut it off, and I'll do the outro and finish it.
Just stop. Let your ego go. Stop stroking it so much. Actually get people who know about the game industry and know what's best for it, instead of picking random people to give out random awards like, you get an award, you get an award, everybody gets an award. Like you have been for the past, give or take 5 years now. Actually get people who give a shit about what they do. Stop resorting to iJustine for the 10th, 6th, 3rd, whatever fuck time. Actually get people who actually give a shit about this stuff. And don't stroke Hideo Kojima's dick so much next time. That's all I need to say. This is G Shadow / Webhead Gaming. I'll catch you all time. Fuck this
Colton, what
show.
was your improvements?
Um, Less musical performances. That was my biggest deal. Like I can't. That second one especially was cringeworthy. Um, if you're gonna do musical, actually, you know what? 3 musical performances is a bit much. Maybe knock it down to 2 and make both of them gaming related. Like perform the soundtrack to Uncharted 4 and Doom. That would have been fine. But
You
don't
should have just
do
gotten the
whatever the hell the
like the
first performance was.
choir for Dark Souls 3 and have someone play the boss in the background. That would have been kick ass.
That would have been incredible, especially with a boss like the Abyss Watchers or Soul of Cinder, one of the bigger ones in the game. That would have absolutely been incredible.
They
And more games for world premieres. That's something you guys echoed. But like seriously, stop it with the DLC. Just stop.
and
It's not a real
don't give
world premiere.
stop this dumbass. Oh, we go from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving. Put your show back to December like 30th, the day before New Year's. Say that if you there you go. That's the Game Awards. The entire everything that has come out this year.
Yeah.
And then to companies that want to be Game of the Year, there you go. You can give out review copies, which you need to do already, and then there you go. But that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for whatever the hell I post. See you guys tomorrow.